Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. Yep, lots of paint work in this one. Stick around. So let's get started. I'm not going to bore you with none of this boring stuff. The whole goal of this one here is now I want to get this painted, okay? I got to prep this now for paint, which involves a lot of sanding, because the problem I got is this was left way too long and there's after getting surface rust on it. So I got to go back and sand everything again, and sand the whole prep, everything up so it's all sanded. And I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll show you what I did after the fact. So I'm just going to go ahead now, get started, and get this whole thing sanded. So I'm here about 45 minutes or so, and I got this bar here cleaned up, this here cleaned up, this mount cleaned up the top of this here, all this bar up here, this bar here, this side of the frame rail here, and up as far as here. Cleaned up the steering column over halfway. You can actually see the difference, okay? All I'm using here is I got two grinders, one with a wire wheel on it, and the other one's got like a 36 or 40 grit flat wheel on it. I don't like them, but they're great for this. Using the 24 on the oscillator, by hand 24, and old scotch pad, nothing fancy, okay? All I'm doing here now is just cleaning it all up, taking my time. I'm concentrating on one area at a time. I'm not going jumping all over the place. I'll take a small area, I'll do that entire area, and then I'll decide to move on from there and pick another spot, something different. It's tedious work. It's going to be a long haul, but I don't want to go rushing this now. I've come this far with this car. I just soon do a decent old job. That's a nice finish on that. I don't want to touch it because that's the reason why it rusts in the first place. If you look over here, it's usually handprints that are on the rails. So I don't do anything with that. One question got asked a lot was about these, okay? A lot of people ask me about these ends, if I'm going to cap them off. These here are the mounting points to the body. There's one here, two on the other side, one on the back, or two on the back as well. This is what's done here. There's a plate there, a 1/8 plate welded there, another one back there, another one over there, and then there's another one right here, okay? Them there will be welded solid. This is the plates on this here fit here, and they'll be welded around solid all the way around that, and that's how they're going to be mounted to the car. So a lot of you asked about that. I didn't know what they were talking about first, but they were talking about the openings in the frame. So that's what's going to happen. They will be capped, but they're going to be capped when they're welded in the car. So I'm going to go ahead now, pick another spot. I'm thinking about going to take this little area here down here and this bar and do that section next. So I got this all done here, up as far as top of the cage here, all is done. In as far as the rails, tops, nothing on the inside is done. And I got all the back section back here as well done. On the back side here, went and sanded all that, got all these bars done, got this done halfway across, this bar here was done. Once it gets going, it don't seem to be that bad. Up here was a bit tedious because of the front suspension and everything, had to work around that and clean all this up, whatever, but I pretty well got this side completed, all along here. I'm going to go over now and get the other side started, get that done. I don't know, might have a couple hours into it so far. But it's just tedious. It's not something you want to be at, right? And, you know, just constantly sanding. You look at it and you keep seeing stuff and you're jumping all over the place. You got to watch that. You just got to take one piece, sand it. And all I'm doing is I got a piece of 40 paper. I wraps it around it. And I sands it with that. And then I just cleans it up with this. And then I just wipes it off with a clean rag. And that's the extent of what I'm doing with it. The pipes are a lot easier to do than a lot of the frame rails. The frame rails I have to sand it. A couple of spots, you know, you got to get in there and grind them off and whatever. Like I'm putting the floors in this, so I grind at the tops of the frame rails flat here, where all the tin work has got to be done. And same with back here, tops of the rails here, and going back through here and down through here. I shouldn't be touching that, Tony, because now it's going to rust. Oh my. That's the problem with this here, right? Because you just manhandle the pipe, you hold on to it and stuff like that, and it got a tendency to flash rust, and it just comes from the moisture on your hands. But that's it. It's tedious work. I'll get back at it here now. So I got everything sanded on this side here and on that side here and on the top here going along this side here. What I got left to do now is I got to sand the inside here, and of course then the top of the roll cage inside on the top. And of course then I got to tidy up this front end here. I'm leaving all the middle stuff till I can position it right. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take this now, rotate this on the side, and I'll do all this side over here, and then I'll rotate it back the other way and then do all this side over here. Well, that is the last of it. I got the whole thing sanded. Inside, top, bottom, everything. I'm out here at this the whole day here. Back and forth, back and forth. You get tedious at it, but I got to get it done. I've been wanting to walk away from it. Nope, finish it off. Walk away from it. Nope, finish it off. So I'm glad now I got it all done. As I was sanding, I come across a few spots that I missed welding. So I got to mark all them now and finish welding them up. Just little spots. It's the first time I had the car turn that way when I rotated that last time. And I saw spots that I never got because I welded it the other way. And it's always the way. So I'll mark a few of them now. Next thing to do now is unpack that and get the boot set up so I get this thing painted. So I got that all finished up. I welded up the few small spots I had to do there. Then I blew it all off. And I'm in the process here now cleaning the shop. Cleaning everything out because I'm going to set the boot up over on this side here. But first I got to go upstairs and pick up some. I got to get the paint gone, some paint materials and whatnot for to paint this here. So I'm going to spend a few hours here now just setting this all up so I can put this in, have the boot and paint it in the boot. So let's get started on that. And here we have it. I have all the boots set up here. I have a video on all this. I made a bigger boot, and this is the original boot that I made. It's just very simple, just hangs from the ceiling, and then it's just this little platform that's held in with a couple of screws and got filters and everything in it. It's pretty simply done. So now I got everything straightened away here. I've got to blow this off. I'm pretty well ready here now. All I'm going to do now is give this a tack off and get the paint ready and start painting this. So here's what we're doing, okay? I'm painting the chassis with semi-gloss black trim clad rust paint, okay? Am I going to prime it? No. This one here says paint and primer, everything built into one. It's a pain in the trying to prime that entire chassis inside and out. It's just a frame. I just want to clean it up, make it look, stop it from rusting. So it's a reason for this. I've used gallons upon gallons of this stuff. I love it. Okay, it's getting really, really expensive now. I turned around. You get this from a place called Canadian Tire. When you buy things here, I buy all my grinding, cutting wheels and everything there. You could save up what they call Canadian Tire money. And I basically bought this out of the Canadian Tire money. But this here now is $103 taxes in. It's 89 bucks, I think it is, for a gallon. Oh my God. I can remember when this used to be like $35 a gallon. It is crazy. But anyway, this is the stuff I'm using. You can probably get cheaper stuff out there. I like this stuff, and that's just it. And everything is built into it. It's a rust paint. All that type of stuff is working good. I've done chassis with it. Inner fender wells, like, oh, I don't know who the Wendy's car was done with it. I love the sheen of it. It's got a nice sheen when it's done. But I got this stuff here. I don't bother with the mix instructions and everything on it. I have my own mix on this. I mix it 1-to-1 with thinners. 1 part black, 1 part thinners. This is the thinners. This here is called Premium Solvent Cleaner. Up here, they can't sell thinners anymore because of the terminology we got up here now with the low VOCs and stuff like that. But that's what this is. This is the thinners. And I buy it by the 5 gallons because I use it for everything. I use it for cleaning. Like I've, use it for cleaning carburetors, cleaning the gun, mixing paint, this type of stuff. Like I use the thinners with this because this here's like an oil-based style paint. It takes a while for it to dry. I don't put no hardener in it because it'll make it go shiny. If you put a hardener in it, it will harden up better. But I like to mix it 1-to-1. Some fellas only mix it like 40% and stuff like that. But I find the more you reduce it, the faster it dries and the nicer the sheen is, okay? I buy this stuff by the 5 gallon bucket because it's cheaper, okay? A gallon of this here now is probably $30 to $40 here, probably more. This is not no old cheap stuff you buy at like Canadian Tire or at your local hardware store, just, thinners. But this is an automotive thinners. I bought this from an automotive dealer, and I paid $100 for a 5 gallon bucket. So I got mad. I can remember paying $50 for this as well. Prices have doubled in the last 4 years. But anyway, I buy this by the 5 gallon bucket because I've always got it here, and it's cheaper. Like if I went out to pay $40 for 1 gallon or pay $100 for 5 gallons, that's just the way it is. Now, the most important tool for all this here to mix all this up is you need a beef bucket. Now, a lot of you guys try to figure that one out. Look, best meal you can ever have in Newfoundland comes from that. Yeah, it's just an old bucket. I got that for mixing it up in it, so I'm going to mix the paint in that. So I got that, tack rag, a few strainers, just going to wipe it down. I'm going to wash it down with thinners with just old shop towels. That's it. Got old used tack rags here I'm going to wipe it down with. And I'm just using an old Princess Auto gun. It's like a $40 gun. Not even that probably. Might be a $20 gun, $30 gun. But I painted Wendy's car with this. And most times they're disposable. So I'm just going to paint chassis with it now and not worry about it. I got a water filter built into this here. And I got a regulator built into this here. Under the gun itself. I put these on every gun I've had. I like these water separators on them. And I replace them every now and again. It helps get the water on them. Now, for the regulator for the wall, this is all I use. I got to put a fitting in that. The fitting taken out of it. I plugs that into the wall, and it's just a little water separator with a regulator on it. And I turn the regulator down because I got the full compressor here. The compressor I use, 5 horsepower, Performance Plus. Here's the key to a good compressor, RPM. Low RPM, and it doesn't build up a lot of heat. I don't have no fancy watering system. I got a copper pipe, just regular copper pipe running through the garage here. And I got the skate elbows turned up and coming out, and that's what everything's on. There's no, on the end of the line down here behind the bench, it just turns down. It's got a valve on it. You just crack it open every now and again. I might empty it every 6 months. But I got no fancy dryer system or nothing put in my garage. The key to a compressor is low RPM. These build a lot of heat when you got the faster ones. And that's where all your moisture comes from. But this one here just turns very, very slow. You've heard this in the background many times. I've got this for years. I love this compressor. It's amazing. It's going to break my heart the day that it packs it in, because it's shocking here. I got it here set up as all grinder dust. I got to get that put in a room. But anyway, that's the whole process of what I use. I'll plug it in here, the regulator in here, put the hose in that, and that's all I use. I don't have no issues with water. So I'm going to get this all set up here now, get this all mixed up, and start painting. I'm not going to be overly fussy now taking this off, but I just spots where like you're going to see underneath the hood and stuff like that, inside the car, door posts and that, just to make sure they're as clean as I can get them. So that's one coat. Floor is very, very sticky. The stuff is wild. But you see me, I rotate it one way, rotate the other way, and then brought it up flat, trying to get everything. You know you're going to miss something. And you know you're going to get a scattered drool on it here and there because it's round pipe and you're drowning it with paint. Trying to not drown it with paint anyway. But I'm going to let this set up now for half hour, 45 minutes or so. And then I'm going to come in and repeat the whole process again. Put a second coat on. It's pretty heavy the way I got to put on, so I think 2 coats should be enough. It's all covered. It covers first coat, right? So I'll let that set up down. I'll bang another coat on it and see what it looks like. Say to me, Tony, you're good at this, you're good at that. I'll tell you something I'm fantastic at, and that's making a mess. Look. Trying tried to use this for a stand for that because I find this too high to pour in. There you go. And I dumped it all over the floor here, all over the voice. What a mess I got going on here. Time to get it all cleaned up. I got 2 coats on that in there now, 2 heavy coats. It's good enough for it. So I'll let that dry now and clean up my mess. So I'm in here now for one last look. Still got the fan going. You can see now it's starting to flash off and start to get a sheen to it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the fan on here for a few hours, and I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll come out tomorrow and have another look at it and see what it looks like. There she is, next day. Got a real nice sheen to it there now. I always loved satin black. I always had a soft spot for it. I'd paint everything satin black if you left me alone. Nice finish to it. It feels nice. Now, I'd say if you touched it hard, it'd probably fingerprint and whatever, right? I'm going to give this a few days now to dry. Oh, it feels pretty good. But as you can see, like most times you come out here, this will still be tacky. It's cold here, and you know, it's been cold the last few days, and it's wet today. So, but I had the heat on out here yesterday. I had the heater turned on, and warming everything up, getting it to dry and whatnot. But very pleased with it. Hopefully, I got everything. There's 2 good heavy coats of paint on this. Got a real nice finish to it. Going around it. Some of it is still, like that'll sheen off from that. There's a nice sheen there. That's how I really put it on heavy on this stuff here. So, but as you can see, it's just simply a simple little video. Sometimes some of the things you do on cars are not exciting. So it's just, you know, sanding and painting, and it's all part of it. This chassis is now complete. Now, next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to prep the inside of the body and get that painted. And once I get that painted, then I can put the body back on the chassis for the last time. So, I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope the tips were good. And until next time.